here, squeak, whoosh, squeak, whoosh. Gotta squeak that board hard, and then jump off of that squeaked side. Wow, that's a great drive. Okay, this video is gonna be about 2 different small inventions that I made just to show and to work on what really matters in golf. So the first thing I'm gonna do is put together this first invention right now. On Be Better Golf, there's all these different teachers that I've had on, asking them their opinions about golf. A lot of people ask me what is my opinion about how to be better at golf and what really would be like the Be Better Golf philosophy. This is it. And the best way to communicate that, I think, would be through these 2 small inventions that I made specifically for my last golf school, because I think the sequence of things has to happen in is best illustrated by this, because most people are doing this thing backwards. I've been thinking about this for a while, but it came back into my mind because I've been watching some of Dr. Kwan's videos, and I've done like 6 different Be Better Golf schools with Dr. Kwan, and I saw in his lab he's developed some different ways to get people to feel some of these things that he's always talking about. And one of the things that he's been using recently has been this whoosher. So it's basically like a light shaft with a pickleball on the end of it. So you can hear the whooshing back both ways. But I was thinking that it would be better if it was actually on a golf club so you could see the face and it was the same weight as a golf club. So what I did was I attached these wiffle balls to here, and I'm gonna finish doing that now. Maybe this. There we go. Without breaking our rubber band over the head again. All right, so let's try this. Version 1 of the whoosher. I think this would probably be one of the most important and good best trainers that you could have. All right, let's hear the volume level of this. And I wish I had another ball, but that's okay. These 3 should be good. I like that. Could be louder even, especially louder at lower speed. Okay, so I saw something online from the movie Dune, what they used to make the thropcopter, I think it's called, to make that sound effect. The Foley artist made something really cool called a wind wand.
What we needed was the sound of wings fluttering. What we were desperate to avoid was having ornithopters sound like helicopters.
Right.
Because that's this circular motion, and we wanted fluttering motion.
Right.
And we just loved the kind of buzzing, insect-like buzzing that these vibrating rubber bands gave us with these when they first start flapping. And you can hear it's already different if I go slow. But it just makes this deliciously weird buzzing noise.
It's really satisfying.
And it's fun to play with. Now it's higher pitched.
Yeah.
So what we're trying to do is turn this golf club into a wind wand. And I think if we get the right kind of rubber bands and then something to use as like a brace, I think we can do this. I know for sure we'll do it. It's just how well will it work? And I'm just looking around the garage to see other stuff that I could use. The wiffle balls don't look cool. This thing has got to look kind of high-tech and cool. Recently, I was on somebody's podcast, and they asked me how many golf inventions I've made, and it's at least 80, probably more like 140. All right, I know where this stuff is. What I need is this tight elastic ribbon here. What they used was a tight rubber band, but I think that this will work just as well or better. This over here, just this elastic ribbon.
Okay, elastic?
So
Oh,
this,
yeah? Okay.
yes, thank you. Okay, so I got my 5 yards of this stuff. Now I just have to figure out how to mount it, which I think I'm gonna just do with tape. This doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be better than what I have here. So that's the whole point, right? Be better, not be perfect. Whoops. Over this thing, up to there. We're gonna go other side, same thing. But let me go see how this performs. It's not enough, it's not as much as the balls. So now I want it to come out of there and there. Getting the hang of it now. Yeah, that electric tape is really good compared to other crap I would use. Sounds great on the way through. Yeah, we need the balls. A little gross, but I think this is gonna work out. Let's see how this sounds. Oh yeah. The balls are really important. We got our wind wand driver. It's a success. Now we can finally make our YouTube video. I wonder how much the cords are adding to it. It's hard to tell, but I like it. Okay, the second training aid, I already did. You guys know the Grf Infinity Board. This is Marcus Bell's board. This is, I think, the best of all the teeter-totter boards or whatever, because of these rails and stuff. But I wanted to make it a little different at first, just to prove a point to some of the people that were coming to the Be Better Golf Schools, what has to happen. Second, then just to be able to use myself. So I bought, you know, those squeaky things that go inside of like a dog toy or something like that. The point of this video is very simple. You've got to squeak before you whoosh. That is a very, very simple concept, but that people can get wrong. Most people are doing the movement first and then trying to create the pressure. The pressure has to create the movement. And this is a real simple way to see it and to work on it. This really is the secret to golf, to squeak before you whoosh. And I'll show you why now. Now we're seeing people making really great improvements because they are getting more into the kinetics of creating a certain pressure that then makes these positions happen. And then you can swing more on plane with more power, more athletically. Okay, so to put that really simply, you want to squeak before you whoosh. I want you to be able to clearly tell when your weight is going on either side. A high percentage of golfers they're set up and they squeak to the right, then they swing, and then they would squeak to the left at some point in, like, once the ball's way gone, or maybe even squeak to the right, hit it, and stay on the right. Very rarely do we ever see people get to the left side early enough. And this is just an audio way of moving the pressure. Once you hear it squeak, it has already been going that way for a while. So you wouldn't go swing to the back, to the top of the swing, then squeak it, then swing down. You really have to start the process of going back this way quite early. So it would be squeak, and then, so I'd squeak this way, and then once I'm about here, I'm basically, for me, at the max point of the most pressure. I'm gonna get to this side, then I have to start pushing that way. Marcus has this great drill called either the 1-2-3 drill or the 1-2-3-4 drill. I think it's 4 for me because of a certain fault I have, but basically it's 1, 2, 3, and then club comes through. So that's a great thing to do on any kind of wobble board you have or whatever. If you wanna add these squeakers, you can, but that's a great thing. 1, 2, 3. Okay? But really, your squeak has to happen before your whoosh. Squeak, whoosh, squeak, whoosh. That would be the basics of the sequence that people have to do. So what most people do, and what a lot of people do, is they don't really squeak, and then they try to make a bit of a backswing that doesn't whoosh very much. Very, very rarely somebody has a dynamic enough backswing. And then they whoosh, and then maybe squeak, or maybe not. Okay? No, we want to squeak, whoosh. Hopefully you guys can hear that. It sounds really good to me because I'm standing right here over the Thropcopter here. This is the basics of golf. Like if you were to just start playing golf, or if you want to remake your golf swing before the season starts or as it's starting with the Masters happening, you would want to say, okay, I'm no longer going to be like most golfers and be trying to make a movement first and then a pressure. I want to have a pressure that creates a movement. I want to squeak the ground, and then that squeak becomes the whoosh of the club. Then I want to squeak the ground again, and that squeak becomes the whoosh of the club. So something I've been doing is taking these two things and making sure my squeak happens and then my whoosh happens, both ways. This is the important point though, and this is something that happened to me when I first started learning about the force before the motion and doing all the Dr. Kwan stuff, and Dana Dahlquist was the first one to turn me on to some of this pressure before motion stuff. But when I first started doing it, I OD'd on it. Like, I really started moving my mass around a lot in order to get that pressure shift to happen. So if I was on one of these wobble boards or teeter-totter boards, like this GRF one, I would go this way. And that is basically defeating the purpose of everything you're doing. You're getting this kind of flopping fish kind of thing in order to move your pressure. And I knew that you were supposed to stay in kind of this A as you did it, but still I was working very much on this frontal plane only, which really doesn't jive well with the best forces that I can create based off of the swing catalyst and stuff like that. So experiment with how you can most consistently move your pressure. You might be a type of person that moves it in this frontal plane, which would be like this, or you might be the type of person that moves it in this more transverse or more torquing plane. If I put twist into this board, I can squeak it just as much as if I put like a lateral stomp into it. You kind of want to feel like you're in this A-frame and you're moving your pressure, and you could really push the ground, but you're not getting your shadow outside of what would be this, like, if you think of like Alvin and the Chipmunks and the A on his sweater, like that kind of A. You're staying in there. If I'm on the board a lot, doing things on the board a lot, and then I come onto the ground, it feels like I'm swinging the club more on easy mode because now the ground's not even moving. So this is way more simple than what I was just doing. The whoosh happens because of a result of the torque. So if you see a golfer like Bubba Watson here like this, it's not because he's using his skeleton to keep this all rigid. It's because, you know, Bubba has a very active lower body. He has basically felt like he's tossed the club that way, and it's being pulled from his hand. And that puts him into that nice wide takeaway position. So the real difference and the real switch to flip between regular golfer and really good golfer is that regular golfers are making motion and then pressure, or they would go soft whoosh, then soft squeak. Whereas good golfers, the really elite movers with the golf club, are getting a nice, strong, powerful squeak that leads to a strong, powerful whoosh. So it would be like here, squeak, whoosh, squeak, whoosh. So you can see I squeaked and then I whooshed. Okay, I made a modification because the wiffle balls just don't look right So I changed this to look more like this here. So see that ring? It kind of holds them out. So let's see how this sounds. So here's this. All right, a little bit of a buzz to it. I do think I ordered some rubber bands, and I think they actually have to be rubber bands. These elastic straps aren't as good. That's really good. That's great. This is boring doing this here, so I have to go to the course and see how it works. Let's go to the course and see how it works. Okay, now we can actually hit shots with it. We've been training the pattern, squeak, and then whoosh. Do it with torque and not tipping. That's dead straight. That's a really good one. That's what I need to hear. That flutter on the backswing. Best drive of my life. Golly, that's good. There we go. The Thropcopter driver. Just take it away normally. It doesn't hum or buzz or anything. But if I really take it away forcefully, it'll buzz. That's dead straight. Let's see how fast this is. That's what I need to do. But try to torque this board. That's the best drive of my life. Excuse me. Damn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Between the 4th and 5th level. And 117 club head speed. The fastest I've been actually hitting a ball in forever. Oh, that's great. All right, theory totally proven. So what I gotta do is I gotta squeak that board hard and then jump off of that squeaked side. That's really good. 117 again, dead straight. But nothing can happen before the squeak. That's what I want. Now right down the middle. Wow, that's a great drive. Even hopped a little bit. Hoo-wee, 117, dead straight. Loving it, loving it. 1 in a row, let's try 2 in a row. That's dead straight, 2 in a row. That drew half a yard. And it's on the 4th level, 5th line. And I used to be a snatchy and throwy. All right, so this will be 3 in a row without the training aid, but you're building in the feelings. Yeah, that's straight on the right-hand side of the fairway. 115. I think we really figured something out. It might take you like a month or 5 weeks to get you squeaking the ground before you whoosh the driver. But once you do, it's so worth it. That's so good. Gosh, that is gonna be fun. 118, fastest one of the day. And I'm doing it again and again. That's awesome. All right, thanks for watching. Click the subscribe button. Let me know if you have any questions. This video took me a long time to make with lots of different versions and inventing things and building stuff. I put all the raw footage of it. That includes a lot of the things that I communicated with Dr. Kwan and other stuff like that up on my Be Better Golf members site. So if you click the button below that says join, the little join button, you'll see a, I think, almost hour-long video. That is just bombed down the left-hand side. Bong.